Jewel, Connie, Sonia, David, and Jeff alerted us to these mailers going around. These random voter registration applications are from the Center for Voter Information and the Voter Participation Center. According to an emailed news release, the two groups sent 1.9 million applications to people in Colorado with the goal to get people not registered to vote, registered to vote. These groups sent similar forms out in 2018 when we told you about the one sent to Moco Lucero.
You could list your gender identity, and I wanted to put neutered male and send it back.
Moco was a Boston Terrier that had died 18 years earlier. Those of you who reached out to us this week said you received a pre-filled registration form for a relative who had died, or you yourself got one and were already registered.
I received one of those letters actually a couple weeks ago.
Even the registered to vote Colorado Secretary of State got one.
It said there may be someone at your household who is not registered.
There's no database of unregistered voters, so the group behind the mailer tries to piece together publicly available data to figure out who might not be registered.
We are in the process of reaching out to the group. We're actually drafting a letter as we speak to make sure that we encourage them to communicate with Coloradans as in the least confusing way possible.
We also received concerns from Jenna, Charlie, and David about this unsolicited text message from Rock the Vote, saying the person who lives at such and such address may not be registered to vote. Again, the people who got these tell us they're registered. So what gives? Is this spam or phishing? It turns out these are also from the Voter Participation Center, which partners with Rock the Vote. I asked the Secretary of State what makes those voter registration mailers different than these Postal Service mailers. These are the ones that she sued the Postal Service over. Well, the Secretary of State told me that the voter registration forms are confusing and said that these vote-by-mail notices provide incorrect information from the federal government. Well, these are the mailers that describe how to handle mail-in ballots, but they're not specific to Colorado, and they give misinformation, like telling you to request your mail-in ballot when we get one automatically. The Secretary of State was granted a restraining order preventing the Postal Service from sending these. Today, the USPS updated its numbers. 1.7 million were delivered in Colorado. So what next? The court hearing continues tomorrow. What does the Colorado Secretary of State want, since 75% of us received these already?
That's number one, stop sending the postcard. And number two, I think any way to correct the record. I would love to see the Postal Service send out a correction. I'm not sure if they will agree to do that or if that's feasible.
The mailer is separate from these voter registration forms. If you got one of these texts or the forms in the mail and you're registered, don't worry about it, especially if you're already registered. If you're concerned about your registration, govotecolorado.gov. It's very simple. You can do it yourself. Even if you're not registered and you didn't get one of these mailers, Anusha, you can do it yourself. Govotecolorado.gov. Just because you got something in the mail doesn't mean someone's out to do something wrong. They may have just gone about the right thing the wrong way.
And there's also a difference, right, between confusing information and misinformation.
Right. The mailer from the Postal Service saying that you should request your absentee ballot, mail-in ballot 15 days before the election, that doesn't apply in Colorado, so that would be misinformation. Getting a voter registration form, even though you're registered, that's just bad work by the people who sent it to you. It could be confusing. It's just not nefarious necessarily.
All right. Thanks for that. Appreciate it, Marshall.